Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special report. Today, we bring you a story that has captured the world's attention and sparked outrage across the Atlantic. Thousands protest Trump's threat of annexation in Greenland and Denmark, saying, "We are not for sale." This is not just another headline. It's a powerful display of defiance from a small but determined people standing up against extraordinary pressure from the world's most powerful nation. In cities across Denmark and in the remote capital of Nuuk, Greenland, crowds have taken to the streets in unprecedented numbers, waving the red and white flags of Greenland, chanting slogans of sovereignty, and holding signs that leave no room for misunderstanding. Greenland is not for sale, and it never will be. Let's set the stage. The Arctic island of Greenland, vast, mineral-rich, strategically located between North America and Europe, has long been a semi-autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark. With a population of just over 56,000 mostly indigenous Inuit people, Greenland has its own government handling internal affairs, while Denmark manages defense and foreign policy. For decades, this arrangement has worked quietly in the background of NATO alliances and global geopolitics. But everything changed when President Donald Trump revived and intensified his long-standing interest in acquiring Greenland. What began years ago as a surprising proposal has now escalated into repeated public statements that the United States must take control, by purchase if possible, but with no options ruled out, including the use of force. Trump has framed this as a matter of urgent national security, pointing to the island's location as critical to countering potential moves by Russia and China in the melting Arctic. He has argued that Greenland is essential for defense, resources, and preventing adversaries from gaining a foothold. The White House has gone further, with officials discussing all options and even floating the idea of military intervention. In recent days, Trump has threatened tariffs, starting at 10% and rising to 25% on several European nations, including Denmark's allies like Norway, Sweden, Finland, Germany, France, the UK, and the Netherlands, if they do not support his vision for Greenland. These threats have come amid a broader pattern of assertive U.S. actions in the hemisphere, raising alarms that no ally is truly safe from pressure. The response from Denmark and Greenland has been unequivocal and unified. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has repeatedly stated that Greenland is not for sale, that any attempt at annexation would violate international law and could even threaten the future of NATO itself. Greenland's leaders, including Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen, have echoed this, emphasizing that the island's future must be decided by its own people. All major political parties in Greenland's parliament support eventual independence from Denmark, but they are clear. Joining the United States is not an option. Polls show overwhelming opposition. Around 85% of Greenlanders reject the idea outright, with only a tiny fraction open to it. This firm stance has fueled the massive protests we are seeing now. On Saturday, January 17, 2026, thousands gathered in Copenhagen, marching from City Hall to the U.S. Embassy. They waved Greenlandic flags, chanted "Hands off Greenland" and "Greenland for Greenlanders," and carried banners declaring, "We are not for sale." Some wore red hats mimicking Trump's campaign style, but with the message, "Make America Go Away." Similar demonstrations unfolded in other Danish cities, Aarhus, Aalborg, and Odense, drawing crowds in the thousands. In Nuuk, Greenland's capital, hundreds more, led by local leaders, including the Prime Minister, marched to the U.S. consulate. Protesters there delivered the same clear message: "We are not for sale." One woman told reporters directly addressing President Trump, "We are not for sale." Another expressed fear of aggression, saying, "We have seen what he does in Venezuela and Iran. We do not accept this kind of aggression." The rallies were organized by Greenlandic associations in Denmark, along with NGOs like ActionAid, emphasizing solidarity and a call for the world to wake up to the threats against small nations' sovereignty. These protests are more than symbolic. They highlight deep concerns about self-determination, the integrity of alliances, and the risks of great power bullying. Greenlanders point out that their island already hosts U.S. military facilities under long-standing agreements, but they insist that cooperation does not mean surrender of control. Many fear that Trump's rhetoric creates uncertainty and division, even as bipartisan U.S. lawmakers have traveled to Copenhagen to reassure allies that Congress opposes any forced takeover. The broader implications are profound. Greenland's melting ice opens new shipping routes and reveals vast reserves of rare earth minerals, oil, and gas, resources that could power economies for generations. As the Arctic becomes more accessible, competition intensifies. Russia has built up its presence with bases and icebreakers, while China has shown interest through research and investments. The United States sees Greenland as a key asset to maintain dominance. Yet the push has strained relations within NATO. European leaders have united in support of Denmark, warning that any aggression against an ally would undermine the alliance's foundation. Even in the U.S., public support for forceful action is low. Polls show large majorities opposing military intervention. As these protests continue to make headlines, the question hangs in the air. Will this pressure lead to compromise, or will it deepen divisions? Greenlanders are making their voice heard loud and clear. They are a proud people with a deep connection to their land, and they refuse to be treated as a bargaining chip. This story is far from over. We'll continue to follow every development, from diplomatic talks to the streets of Nuuk and Copenhagen. Thank you for joining us. If this report resonated with you, share it with others who need to understand what's at stake in the Arctic. Stay informed, stay vigilant. For now, from all of us here, good night.